Hello, this is Dan with HOAst. In this demo, we will be looking at the directory and the information available there. First, I will log on as a member of leadership, and that's because a lot of data is hidden from the average member, but a leadership person can actually see even private phone numbers and private information. So I'll go here to My Community and Directory, and I see the names of those in the community. Now, if I looked at, let's say, James Bond, for instance, I'm going to see his primary address. He could have a secondary address also. This primary address is in the community. And I will see that this is the owner and voter information. I will see that for Unit 46, he's both the voter and the owner, and that's his email address. There's a little lock over here indicating that this is private, so if I wasn't in leadership, I would not be able to see that. Every name works that way, giving you the primary, secondary address, telling you if they're a voter or an owner, and giving you whatever information they have regarding phone numbers and email addresses, and telling you which ones are private. If I was to go here to address, I will see everything about the address. For instance, if I go down here to Unit 01, this 1000 Presidential Way, I see three names here. If I go to the first one, that's Washington Research. It's out of Fairfax, Virginia, and they are the owner of Unit 1. If I go to Dan McCready, I will see that he's out of Gulf Boulevard in St. Pete Beach, and he's the voter of Unit 1. He's got a phone number and a email, both private. And if I look at George Washington, I see that he's neither an owner nor a voter, but he does live at Unit 01. So again, we have who the owner is of a property, who the voter is of a property, and who lives at that property address. Now, there's something called TBD voter. TBD voter is a placeholder. That indicates that we don't know who the voter is. However, we have not taken away the voting privilege from that address. So that address does count for the quorum computation. So TBD voter or voter TBD indicates we don't know who the voter is. Now that can happen in a couple of ways. One is we're still working with the county records to figure out who owns and who's going to be voting for that property. The other is if the property is owned by a company, then the company cannot vote, so the company needs to give us a voting certificate to identify the actual person who can vote for that company. So if I go to voter TBD, I see that there's three addresses in this situation. Three addresses where we're really losing the voting capability in these addresses because we don't know who the voter is. It may be wise, as I said, to send a voting certificate to the companies that own these addresses so that we can identify a specific voter who could actually vote and help us with the meeting the quorum and voting percentages. Now I go to 123 Oak Street here, and I can see who the owner is. 123 Oak Street is owned by Chase Bank. And I click on Chase Bank, and I can see that they're out of Dearborn, Michigan. We do have an email, so we can reach them that way. And again, what we already know is that they own this 123 Oak Street. So that's Chase Bank. Now on the second one here, 125 Oak Street, I can see that it's owned by ABC Development. And ABC Development actually owns both 125 Oak Street and also Unit 08. They cannot vote for these because a business cannot vote, but they are the owners. So this is information that you can really see what's going on. And again, the whole concept is you will see where a person's primary address is, where their secondary address is, what email we have for them, what phone numbers we have for them, what data is private, and with the address, everything about that particular address, who owns it, who can vote for it, and also who lives there. Thank you for listening.